being here. Thank you for coming to get a sneak peek, a little 6-2 vision of what we've been working on. We're kind of let you into our cave so you can see. So thanks for being here and being the first ones. Um, we wanted to take a moment to introduce ourselves. I am Brandy, and I am a 6-2 splenic manifester. I am an empowerer that is growing into herself. I am a mother of 4 and a grandmother of 2 and a beloved to probably many, hopefully. I have educated myself along the way in metaphysical psychology, in addiction therapy, in motherhood, in shamanic studies, and in mystery school teachings, all in an effort to try to figure out what the hell is going on with myself. Um, so everything that AUM, this entire program that we're going to introduce you to, everything that's there, it has been the process of my development, um, along with other things that Richard's going to share. But really, my portion of it is the process of my development, the lipstick on the mirror little notes that I took at the very beginning of my awareness of myself that said, oh, this is something I needed to know in order to be able to embody myself fully. Oh, this is something I need to know. And after the years of all the lipstick on the mirror, I had a curriculum, really. And I have for years now been going to work, really applying it, really, I learned it. And just like every good sixth line, I didn't want to really be a hypocrite. So here I went out trying to actually apply it in the world. And I learned that it's much easier, right, to learn something and to put it in our brains than it is to actually be and embody it. So then I learned the tools to embody all that stuff that I knew throughout the last probably 7 years it's been. And so this OM is hopefully going to be a collection of all of that, of all of the ways, the places and spaces I've brought myself into, not just to know who I am, to drop the conditioning, but also to empower myself to be who I am. So it's the in breath and out breath of things, the involution and the evolution. And as you can hear, I am the right brain of this operation. I am the abstract storyteller. And so something very important that I've learned along my journey is that we are both hemispheres. Even though I love to live in the right brain, and this is how I speak and teach and interact with people, is in that more receptive and surrendered way. There is logic and there is the structure and there is the masculine that is also needed in order to embody this wisdom, embody the energy that inhabits your meat suit. We need both sides. We need the him to marry the her. And so Richard and I have come together in this way. um, I have followed my body into the place and space where Richard was, and damn, that was the end of that. And so I have continuously, we have been creating, we have been getting to know each other in such intimate ways that we can see that we have done the same work from different directions. As six lines, as chironic beings, we can see that he is the logic and the structure, and I am the story and the feeling, which is really funny because he's an emotional manifesting generator and I'm the splenic manifester. So it just shows the in breath and the out breath of all of us, that we all have access to all of these binaries. Anyway, so together we came, and that is what we have created, is this coming together of, well, maybe Richard, you talk about the left brain now, if you'd like, if you
Sure,
feel to.
sure. Thank you, dear. Yes, for those of you I haven't met yet, my name is Richard Corbett, and I am so excited to be with you here today. So, a little bit about my story. I met human design 27 years ago. I'm almost to my Saturn return living within this experiment. As a emotional manifesting generator, 6'2". One thing generators, we do so many things. We have so much energy. Uh, I can look back at my life and say, well, what's been with me for the last 27 years? And honestly, the only thing that is still here that was there then is human design. It's just been part of me. I have learned so much about me, my life, and those around me. It's just so near and dear to my heart. I've been teaching it consistently that entire time. I originally was trained with Ed Stanton, who was one of Ra's original students, and I worked with him one-on-one for 5 years until he passed away. And then not long after that, I met Genoa Bliven, and he became my mentor. He was also one of Ra's original students, and I've been working with Genoa and Lasita at Human Design America for 14 years now. I have always been a teacher, even in my early years. All of the jobs and roles and careers that I've had, I've always had a sort of a teacher role. I resonate with it. It feels good for me. And so I love teaching human design. What I'm excited to share with Brandy as part of this course and being the left brain logical structure, part of that comes because I have my design sun and earth in gate 52 and 58, which are the root pressure grates of the logical circuitry itself. That energy from my root continues up through the channel of judgment, a design of insatiability to my defined spleen, and I also have gate 48. So even though I am an emotional being with 3536 channel of transitoriness, part of my authority, I have a lot of logical structure in my body, and I'm also left brain. I'm very strategic. I just see things in an order, the steps that we take, and that resonates a lot with being a generator. I find myself connecting to things that I grow with, I develop with in a very logical step-by-step order. Um, with the teaching that I'm so excited to share with you all is that I had the benefit of learning from, again, from Ra's earliest students not long after Ra started teaching. So I've seen the evolution of the educational system during that time. And at Human Design America and with Genoa, we have been working on evolving the language. When Ra came out with this information, it was very line one, shock initiation, planting the flag and initiating us into this knowledge. But we are now 30 years down the river in that sense. And there has been an evolution of not only consciousness in the collective and a degree of receptivity of those of us searching for deeper meaning in our lives, but we have been working to evolve the language and the structure of the teaching itself. And so part of what I'll be bringing in terms of this idea of structure is how we lay out the body graph, how we approach centers, not only from the essence that they each have in terms of the thematics, the archetypes, the biological associations, but also the order in which we go into them. The order we will be going will make sense in terms of the storyboard of life itself. These are not abstract concepts. We're not talking about a center that has a make-believe storytell land. No, this is our life and our body, and that's how we'll be approaching it in a very particular order on how they build on each other, how they communicate with each other, and how we can relearn to relax into our body's wisdom to experience the synergy of those centers. We all have all 9 sensors. We have all 36 channels, and we have all 64 gates. In the current world of internet information and classes, a lot of what we're seeing is missing some of the integration, in our opinion. This is why we came together. I mean, even though I have almost 30 years and Brandy's got 8 years, and that's a lot of years, we love to teach the foundation because there's so many steps that we see in our clients that are skipped or overlooked, or they move beyond before they have integrated the information. Because we have the internet and the gifts of all that information, that's awesome because we can read everything. But if we don't take it from our ajna into our body, it's meaningless. And so we feel that there is a tremendous need for the embodiment phase of this knowledge. And so that's where I'm coming from, all these years of teaching it and evolving the language and the logical explanation so that it does make logical sense to our ajna, so that we can relax our mind, stop fighting the information, or in a way just sort of avoiding alignment because we go right into the body. And so this is where Brandy and I came together. She is an amazing manifestor. The impact, we met at a conference a few years ago, And I went into one of her sessions with a room full of people and saw her shamanic powers come alive. And I was just like, wow. I was not only impressed as a professional with an extreme degree of respect for the work she did, but I also happened to fall in love at the same time. So hence we have birthed Emerge by Design. And it's very exciting for us. We are incredibly passionate and impassioned by our sense of self-empowerment that we have seen in each other. And that's why we're here sharing this today. So thank you.
Beautiful. So here we are together, bringing our sixth line, what we've put in our bag as we walked along the path. That's what we're doing here. And really the intention of this call today is an invitation into the fullest embodiment and integration of your design that is available to you right now. The invitation here is into the masculine brain having the experience of left brain structure, and right after the feminine body having an experience of that frequency in action. That is what creates wisdom. That is what brings the neurology of knowing this stuff into the cellular expression of your life around you. And that's the invitation here. Um, this project that we are birthing is OM. And what is OM? OM, as you've seen it, is as OHM out in the world, the symbol of the primordial sound of the universe, according to Zen teachings. Well, Om is also AUM in original Sanskrit language. And before I knew that, I had developed this Awaken, Unfold, and Mastery program. And when I found out that it was the Sanskrit verbiage for the experiencing the primordial essence that exists within you, I thought, oh my goodness, this is the link from the universe this manifestor needed to full steam ahead. And so this OM is a three-part journey. The first part is Awaken, and that's what the invitation today is for Awaken. But I want to tell you about how Awaken fits into the whole program. Awaken includes the Living Your Design, IHDS qualification that you have now attended, Living Your Design. But what it also does is take you into, as Richard was saying, in a completely different way, in a layered fashion, in a very certain order that helps your body's cellular structure really metabolize the information. I don't know about you guys, but I have been to many courses where I leave a bit cross-eyed, full of information, but just not sure what in the hell to do with it all. And so it goes in my little binder and it goes on my little shelf, and I don't look at it again ever until it's time to move. And then I throw it away. This is different. This is going to be different. You are going to be getting worksheets and deliverable things that will be able to go in your little notebook. But what's going to go in that notebook is the experience of marrying the wisdom and the knowledge, bringing it together. What's going to go in that notebook is your lived experience that you're going to be able to look back on and remember when you've forgotten, because that's part of this process. We're going to have some frequency awareness teachings. We're going to understand why in the hell we are energy and form. Like, what does that even mean? In a very practical way, what does it even mean that my body has a trajectory of purpose and my G center sends me there? What does that even mean? And we're going to break it down, the cultural and ancient pointers to that, and now the empirical science proof of what that means, so that your mind is going to be able to relax. And whatever mental bully that you may have that is saying that this awakening is whatever your bully in your mind is saying it is, we're going to be able to have it relax and have it be able to have a lived experience. We'll do some neurolinguistic programming. This is something I bring to the table always, and in all ways. Anyone who has ever worked with me knows that I'm going to ask you to say it in a different way. I'm going to ask you to talk like your ass is on fire. I'm going to help manicure the language so that it sends itself out as a vibration of frequency of your signature self. So there's going to be some of that, some somatic practice. We're going to touch on nonviolent communication. We are going to touch on some of the ways that you can train your mind to allow your body the ability to move you through time and space. So what we're going to be doing in Awakening is building the trust between the two systems in your body through all of these tools and through Richard's logic teaching. The goal here is to recognize energy patterns and identify how your conditioning or your trauma have disrupted those energy patterns in your body. That's Awaken. It is, oh my gosh, there is energy in my body, holy cow. And it has a design. And everything that it needs is also here if I attune to it. So how the hell do I do that? This is Awaken. And then Unfold is a deeper exploration, including rave ABCs in this beautiful, new, brilliant order that Richard is going to present it in a way that is, it fosters the embodiment process. In this phase, we are going to recognize and dissolve childhood trauma. We are going to go into what resistance you still have in your body that keeps you from being your authentic self. We're going to restory the story that you're carrying around right now. And we're going to get into some planetary influences to talk about some mythological stories. You know, you are a mechanically biological vehicle moving through time and space, meeting things. Well, what are you meeting? And that's the planetary frequencies. So we're going to touch on some of that as well. And then mastery is where you learn to speak this in your own tongue, where you learn your magnificence profile. The whole time we're going to be working on this, and I'll let Richard share a little bit about that because this is his baby and it's beautiful. But this magnificence profile is the way to teach people how to love you in an easy elevator pitch type of way. This is who I am and this is how I serve the environment in your own language, not using human design or Zen practices or, 5D starseed language. We're not doing any of that. We're just saying, I meet you on the elevator. Hi, I'm Brandy. Hang around me long enough and you'll be a little bit impacted into being yourself and being happy about it. That's my design in a nutshell, this moment that's coming alive in me. But what's important and what makes it wisdom is that you can speak it in your own tongue. So this will be mastery. So this is the journey that we are creating. Richard, do you want to say anything about those three?
Yeah. Well, just that you mentioned the magnificence profile, one of my favorite things to do with students is to go through this process, as we learn the language of human design, the keynotes and the building blocks, we are deepening our cellular recognition of who we are. And there's another step we can take. It's not just reading the keynotes from the book. It's about putting our own language and sensing into our greatest possible inspiration and creation or creative energy that we have to share, and actually putting that into a language that sounds real to us. And it's a that exercise in itself is a transformational quality that I can't wait to undertake with everybody. And we will start that process in the Awaken. So everything Brandy's describing is actually our year program in 3 separate courses, but we're laying the foundation in Awaken. And so we will start that process straight away as we dive into our personal charts.
Beautiful. I'm excited
What
about
I would
this.
add to Brandy that I'm so excited about, where having taught I've taught all these courses to thousands of students. And so why will this one be different? Well, it is it is our different walks of life of Brandy and I that we're bringing together, and her ability to empower, to okay, it's almost want to say infect ourselves with this reality of knowledge, the way she brings it. What I'm getting at is I think as I've watched so many people go through this process, we come up against limitations that hold us back. And we sort of continue maladaptive strategies to work around this little piece to get to the other side, but that piece is still there. Some people call it, well, we could call it trauma if that's what it is. It could be shadow work. There are unresolved elements of our body that we are going to go back in this course and talk
Mm.
to. We're going to give them a name and include them. And we want to incorporate our whole body. If you listen much to the human design word out there, that whole term not self has been perverted. It makes me want to cry when I hear new students talking about, oh, that's me. I don't have that. Oh, that's not me. We are the whole chart. It is all part of
Mm.
us, just like every cell is part of us. And they are all communicating and evolving and dying and birthing and growing. We are an entire living ecosystem unto ourself. That chart is the entire story, and we will taste every piece of it in our lifetime. And so, again, I hope I'm speaking to the embodiment, the synergy, and the love, the deeper sense of love that we will have regarding pieces of ourself that we've left behind. And this is where Brandy's shamanic work is so powerful, uh, through specific techniques that she will guide us through in these meditations that will connect these parts of ourselves that we've left behind. And I think that's one of the tremendous values I feel that we'll be offering here together, that I haven't seen anyone else really address in the way that we will.
Okay. That was beautiful. Thank you. Thank you. And so I love how you described how this was different than the other living your design and immersions and things like that are going to happen. I really appreciate the way that you described um, all that you described. I want to talk about or ask you about why, um, and I'm asking you, Richard, because I think that you're being very articulate right now, and I love to hear the way that you express this. But why what are the pitfalls in the common ways of expressing human design or awakening or any of these terms? We don't have to be human design literate to be in this process of becoming aware of who we are. We could have many different modalities or programs that we come into, but um, a lot of them have to do with fixing instead of aligning. What would you have to say about that?
Yeah, it's a great comment, observation. Again, one of the biggest limitations we all go through at some area, some phase of this journey of self exploration into our individuation, we will run up against these pitfalls. And typically, what happens, again, is the mind trying to take care of us, trying to make things logical, trying to make sure it's okay. I mean, we want to appreciate our head and ajna because they do a lot of wonderful things to keep us breathing and alive, but they also present a trap to us, where we try to keep it here. We try to mentally rationalize what's happening, and as soon as we're doing that, we're also, by definition, in a sense, placing issues or problems or shadows that we have onto others. Becomes a bit of a blame game or shame. We use those words a lot because they're such a natural part of our upbringing, particularly, I think, this age frame, we're all, in a similar, mostly, degree. This where we've come from in our cultural upbringing, the school systems that we're in, which is avoidance and sort of finger pointing. And so I'm kind of bouncing around with my words, I think, but to say that our mind tries to overlook certain steps in order to protect us, to keep us safe, so that we actually don't allow it to feel and experience the real sensations. So we avoid them. We cover them up. Typical things of being too busy, eating, drinking, whatever the soothing element is, there's a natural instinct in that sense to go somewhere else rather than to actually be present to the ultimate truth that our body is trying to share with us. And so that type of conditioning, it can be very deep in all of us, no matter how many things we've tried or experimented with. It takes a real focus and support to go to these spaces within us that need to be heard, that need a voice, and need to come out so that we can embrace all of ourself, not just the parts we like and disassociating with the other pieces.
Beautiful. Thank you. Emotional intelligence, huh? That is really, who is this for? This is for someone who desires a deeper sense of emotional intelligence, who wants to come into spaces where we're practicing together because we understand that this is a practice. Um, this is for the person who wants to be with community, like-minded people that understand that we've never arrived anywhere and we're never gonna arrive, and that it's about linking arms and kind of being with each other through the evolution, the in breaths and out breaths together, learning skills together, trying them on, experimenting with them, sharing our story about them. Who is this for? This is for someone who wants to exist in their family of origin again. Most of us who may be here right now have a hard time, or maybe there's some resistance around the way you exist in your family of origin. And so this process brings compassion not only to your design, but to all of the designs and transits that are happening around us. This process that we're going to take you through has you arrive in the sovereignty of the truth of everything without having to say it to everyone. To be able to sit in the truth of your own heart and let everyone else have their monkey show or whatever it is that you decide that it might be, but to fall in love with it and see the innocence in it all. I think that's another six line teaching that we really portray, is just to see the innocence in all of it for all of us, whether we're six lines or not. We just see how innocent and silly, like baby children, we all are being sometimes. And so to be able to have that perspective, we call it seeing what love sees. I think that's the success of the future. That's the gold and riches of tomorrow, is to be able to stand sovereign in who we are throughout all of the chaos and know we're all so innocent about it, and tell the story from the perspective of love instead of the victim.
Yeah, and as you're sharing
And
that,
we're always doing that.
yeah, and as you're sharing that, and I'm thinking about the body graph, which we will be going into so deeply, I'm thinking about the channel of mutation. Whether or not it's defined in your chart, it is a very important channel that we all are experiencing at some point or the other. But gate 60 is called the gate of limitation. The limitations of change and mutation, the limitations that we experience in our bodies that don't live forever. They get sick and have illnesses. The limitations we experience from our families, again, family of origin limitations, as well as limitations in our everyday world, whether it be our career workspace or friends and family that we commune with. Limitations are a very undeniable fabric of life itself. And the tagline for Gate 60 is one of my favorite, which is what it says: the first step in transcendence is acceptance. And acceptance, to me, and the framework will be supporting our evolution in this journey together, is the acceptance to actually deepen the love you have for yourself and everything in your life. And we all can resonate at some level that we have good things happening, not so good things happening, and sometimes we'll be on the good track and sometimes we'll be negative self-talking, but we all can sometimes have this yeah, but. Brandy and I call it the yeah, buts. And what we're going to be moving towards is eliminating the buts. There is reality, and to deepen that sense of love for all of it, for the neighbor that's driving your family crazy, for the boss that's making life miserable. There is a story, and as Brandy said, we'll be looking at our mythology. There is a mythology at work. And there's an opportunity to embrace that mythology, to be the true hero on your hero's journey, and to understand why these limitations are there, to embrace them, appreciate them, and feel grateful for having experienced them. Being able to regulate and connect with your personal authority during times of dysregulation, to me, is absolute gold. And And again,
Hmm.
like Brandy said, it's not something we all do all the time. And even us, we can certainly confirm that. But yet there is an art to it. And to me, that is the story of human design. To me, the way I look at it, it's the art of living. And art is not always perfect. It doesn't always stay in the lines. It can often look like modern art. It doesn't make sense to anybody. But there is an internal art to that example of living the way you are connected to all of it, the blemishes, the good things,
Hmm.
the not so good things, and still loving all of it very deeply. And I think that's what I have tasted in my own life, and that why I'm so passionate about supporting others and finding that for themselves.
Hmm. Hmm. And for those of us who um, uh, have experienced illness, fatigue, things in our bodies that don't feel right. We've experienced the talking of our body. The reason I say this is I have a lupus diagnosis, and so I'm talking to people like this, and I'm talking to whatever is happening in your body with your digestion or your skin or your hair or these little signs that are made. There is always a reason for it. Our body is always talking to us through one way or another. And what we're going to be doing for this year is really getting your epigenetic structure. And if we don't understand that word, we're going to have a little bit of talk about it too. But if we are getting our cells to vibrate at a higher rate of activity, when that happens, it upregulates hormones that keep your body in tip top shape. So, what we're also doing is getting in touch with all of the aches and pains and creaks and moans, the way that your body has been designed to talk to you through pain. And we might not address it by putting our eyes on it specifically, but what I will tell you is when you get in line with the wisdom of your body and you connect in coherence with the cells of your body, they will have your attention. Your attention means your energy. When they have energy, now they know what to do to keep you healthy. So we are going to continually learn how to put our energy into the wisdom of our body over and over to give it the little vitamin shot it needs to keep us healthy. Yay. Well, I would love if you felt to for anyone to come on and introduce themselves, their design, maybe tell us if you have any questions and why you're here today. I know that was a lot of things, huh? So just say whatever you want to say of all of those. Does anyone want to impact first? I don't know everybody's design, so I'm just going to go as I can. Manifestors, I'm not going to ask you. Go ahead, Valerie.
There we go. Hi, I'm Valerie, and I've studied a lot with Richard and with Brandy, and I'm a 6'2" also. It's part of the draw for me with Richard and Brandy. Um, and I'm an emotional generator, and I actually am struggling with a lot of health issues, and sometimes I struggle with my design. And so I am interested in learning a broader way to look at the design and maybe eventually help others to do that also. So thank you.
Beautiful. Thank you for being here. Do you have any questions for us?
I do. Thank you for asking that. I get very nervous when
Uh-huh.
I'm online. um, My question for you is, do you use the health system of human design at all in some of the things that you're going to be talking about or listening to? And also, is there any one-on-one or one-on-two time with you guys? Sometimes the group situation for me makes me a little nervous. So Just wanted to find out how that can be handled.
Thank you. Thank you for those questions. Beautiful questions. And I have done some studying with Martin Grassinger and the way that he comes together with the health portion of human design. Is this what you're talking about? Yes, okay. I have done that. I have also done, as a good manifestor I am, my own studies. I worked with a naturopath for a while, and she would do master cleanses and remineralize people. While the people who could not be remineralized, we matched the mineral with the peptide. And then I went to work on that archetypal expression with that person, and eventually they were able to remineralize. So this is the work that I've done, which has been mind blowing. It is what saved my life is human design and so it has been mind blowing. I hope that answers that question. And then
I
we
think
will
it does.
have,
It's very, very impressive because I do the diet. I do, I'm a 2. So I do that, but I'm very interested in everything you're saying. Amazing.
okay, and I certainly do one-on-ones, and anyone who enrolls in the class will get a deep discount on our one-on-ones together, so that we can help supplement. And then another thing that I want to offer about the uncomfortability in group, and I don't want to change that one bit. I want to accept it and unshame it. And I also want to let you know that there have been almost everyone in my containers comes in and says that. And if anyone feels to that has been in my containers, are containers that can talk about how that has turned around, how the power of the container, or what the power of that container was. So we'll see if anyone wants to share that. I'll see if Pockets does, and maybe she can share. Do you feel to, okay, so let me give you the question. Do you feel to share your design, who you are, why you're here, if you have any questions, and what it's like to be in one of our containers? Do you feel to answer? Okay, cool.
Hi, can you all hear me?
Yes, now we can.
Okay, great. So I'm Pockets. I'm a 4/6 sacral generator on the Cross of Contagion. I've been doing HD for about 3.5 years, coming up on 3.5 years. I've done a couple classes with Brandy and Richard. Did a retreat with Richard. My 16-year-old 1/3 manifester comes with me whenever he can. He's very interested in this course too. I don't know if we're gonna be able to work out the time, but we'll see. We'll see how it goes. I'm here because I love learning from Brandy and Richard, but even though it's, I'm quad left, and so for me, I learn a little bit, but I learn this much, and so I gotta repeat it and do it again to get the next piece of the story. And it just kind of builds. Like I pick up something new every time. So I like this kind of setting to do that in. Classes with Brandy in these containers. What's the words are there? Like the dropping in and arriving where we are. There's a whole lot of acceptance for wherever you're at, whatever it is, and be it high pain, low pain, no pain. But it's a very supportive setting. So I really like the energy that everybody brings, and the getting to understand other people's designs based on their experiences and how we all share it. And I'm assuming you're going to have like a WhatsApp group for AUM as
Oh, yes.
well.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, and that's a good piece too. So if maybe if you don't feel to share with the group, there's the WhatsApp group that's a little bit more behind the camera, and sometimes that's a little bit easier to, or if you have a lot to say, to get it all out there, but to still get feedback from the group is really great. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, thank you, Pockets.
Thank you.
Thank you for being here.
Mm.
We love you. Hmm. We create family, fractals. We create family. It's important to us to be, well, we're moving through this world, this crazy cosmos on fire at billions of miles an hour in a circle. And we are meant for a very certain fractal of people. And so when our bodies send us into these places and spaces where we get so deep with one another, there's purpose there, says my 44/6. So it feels real good. I love everybody that comes in our classes, really. Thank you. All right. Anyone else want to share? Amy.
You guys are just magic, just magic. So I'm a 3/5 emotional manifester, and I learned about design toward the end of 2019, which at the beginning of 2019, I left a 25-year corporate career. And so, and when I did that, I made the declaration that I was going to be unapologetically me from here on out, and in walks design to help show me how I get to be unapologetically me, attuning to what I chose for myself at birth. Well, and before that, as we know. And my beautiful co-host Monique is on, but she's at work, so she's listening. And
Yeah.
she and I went to the High Desert Human Design Conference the first time in 2023. And Richard, like, we went to his astrology thing, and I don't know much. You know, I know like the mainstream, probably the worst of the worst, not the real stuff. And Monique and I sat there, and I remember I looked over at her. I'm like, I don't even know what he's saying, but I can't stop listening. You know, it was just like infectious, and I was just trusting. And I'm left arrowed too, Pockets. So Monique's over here, right arrow, going, yeah, I got it. I got it. And I'm like, no, 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 I don't have it. Shut up. I got to hear this, you know? And I kind of caught a bug from that perspective, just really listening to how you shared, Richard. And then I was at the conference again this year, and your share this year just blew me away. And, you know, Brandy, I met you that same year as well. And there was just the way that the magnetism that you have and the way that you draw the other in. I can't find enough words for it, you guys. If you haven't worked with them, I don't know what you're doing if you don't sign up. Like, you know, I can't help you if you can't help yourself, is how I feel about it. And I think that I was that person. I'm that old version of trust but verify. It's like, I like this. This is cute, but I'm going to have to learn this for myself, you know? And so I dove headfirst. I mean, you guys, I fire hosed the information. But I didn't let myself do a lot of experimentation. I just started telling others, right? Very manifestor, like, look, this and this and this, you know? And I think last year was like a whole slew of things happened, but it just really was a great catalyst for myself. And then, of course, you know, my bestie, Monique, we really were learning to embody a lot of this. And that's what I'm here for this time around. You know, the question, why am I here? It's not that I don't have the info. It's just, I want to feel it a different way. I want to let myself consume it in a completely different fashion. And the time is now. I knew that about myself. And I'm in their planets course, which is just freaking phenomenal. The way they speak about the parts of yourself, even when you're not in love with them, you can walk away falling in love with them. It's pretty magical. And I don't really feel like I have any questions because I know I'm in. So, and I just love the way that you guys translate some really, like, sometimes feels indigestible information, both from astrology and human design. You just have such an articulate way that feels so supportive to taking this in and consuming it in a way that has us falling in love with ourselves, like you said, Brandy, you know, in ways that we didn't know were possible, because the world doesn't offer us that very easily. So that's why I'm here, and I'm so grateful.
Holy cow. That was beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you,
Thank
Amy.
you. I didn't expect all of that. Manifestor impact. There it is. All right. Ben, would you like to share?
I wasn't sure. It's a tough act to follow. No, that was wonderful, Amy. I was really inspired. And I'm so glad to hear everyone's experience working with both Brandy and Richard. I'm just coming off a class with Richard, the Rave ABC course. And yeah, I saw the two of you on a podcast together, and that's what made me decide to originally sign up for Rave ABC with Richard through IHDS. But more broadly, what really excited me about the Awaken curriculum that you're putting together is, yeah, my personal experiences, honestly, probably since my Saturn return, which was just about 10 years ago, where I had a very big sort of spiritual emergency kind of situation happen, and realized, wow, I am a crazy, crazy sensitive. What do I do with all this new information coming in? And I've been exploring all kinds of modalities, since then, trying to figure that out. Among them, gene keys, more recently, human design. Yeah, just, a long laundry list I'm sure that many people have looked at as well. And yeah, just the way everything's woven together in the curriculum, I feel like this is going to give me some special insight. Human design has been such a wonder, such a detailed, my left brain is just like having a field day with all the information, and everything resonates and everything like adds up, and it's, oh my gosh, this is the best explanation I've ever seen for the experiences I've been having. But to embody that is another thing. And that's what I'm really excited about, is to pretty much everything that's on the described is like everything I'm excited for. The working through conditioning, your trauma-informed background. There's a lot of that that I know is sort of blocking or obscuring the things I really want to move forward in, and sort of feel through in life. And honestly, like the whole package is what I'm excited about. So yeah, very much looking forward to what you've put together, and I feel like this is going to be helping a lot of.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah, thank you,
you.
Ben. Really appreciate your words. So glad to have you along for this. Absolutely.
Yeah, I'm all in. So everybody
Yeah.
hit that button.
Wow. This has turned into quite an advertisement, you guys. I didn't expect it. I love it. Thank you, Ben. Do you have any questions for us?
Honestly, so many that it adds up to no, none right now.
Okay. All right. Well, feel free to, whenever they come up and effervesce, let us know. All right, Jackie. Hi, Jackie. Would you be able to or feel to come on and share? Sweet Jackie from the Human Design Conference in Santa Fe is a 4/6 generator. And just the most joyful human to be around. So I'm glad you're here. It doesn't seem that maybe there's availability to talk, and probably not with Monique either. Monique is a spitfire of a 1/4 projector, splenic projector. So she is a lot of fun, and she's totally into. Her insights are deep and her wit is sharp. And so, Harper, if you felt to share, I would love to hear.
Yeah. Hopefully my sound is okay. My earpods are about to die, so let me know if I start cutting out.
Okay.
But yeah, hi. I'm Harper. I'm a 2/4 emotional manifester, also quad right. So that's fun. And I'm here today because of Monique, our little network. I got to know about this and popped on. So I'm excited. She said a lot about you guys. And um yeah, I'm also about like 1.5 years into knowing about human design, and I definitely have a bit more like maybe astrological background. I've also just very interested in a lot of just spiritual and esoteric things. And so it's fun to hear more about like the magic and all these other extra things too that I've been also curious about. Um and yeah, it all sounds really exciting, and I'm excited to be here just to learn about this. And part of me is like, when will I know when this is a yes or no because of my emotional stuff? But I do really want to deepen more into like the knowledge of all this, because I haven't had any like formal training. I've just had my own kind of like personal research, looking around with the stuff. Um, but yeah, and I also am like, do I have any questions? I'm like, I feel blank, but also I might have some come up. I don't know, but I'm like, this sounds so cool. So yeah.
Gosh, thank you. Thank you for being here. And if you have questions, whenever they come up, I think you have our information. And maybe, Richard, do you feel to, not to put you on the spot, but do you feel to give her a little, how do I know when I'm clear?
Oh man, that is an
Guidance?
awesome question. Yeah, emotional authority. We are going to spend a lot of time on that weekly in our courses, from many different angles. Again, from discussion, from our ajna, from our awareness centers, and from our authority, wherever that lies for each of us. Emotional authority, it is a process. It's a physical process. So, what I would encourage, maybe now that you've been stimulated with this opportunity, this is a great technique. Anything that you're dealing with, which in this example is whether or not to take this course, maybe jot down in the morning, and if you have time, even in the middle of the day, and then again in the evening, write a couple of sentences. But it's important that you write it down, because when we're moving through our emotional wave, we don't often look back to the past. We just know what we're feeling right now, and we're always wanting to lean into the future. That's the nature of the solar plexus. It leans into life for the next step of the experience. But it's important when we're learning to connect with this. The solar plexus is our nervous system, right? It's our whole body. It's the sensations in our fingertips and our scalp and our toes and it's our whole body. And so these body scans of just closing our eyes and feeling into the softness underneath our skin, deep inside of us, checking in with that. So the encouragement is, yeah, write down what you're thinking for a few days. That course sounds fun because of this. Not sure I'll be able to because of this, or I'm concerned about it. Just, it doesn't matter what it is. Just put it on a piece of paper for a few days, no set timeline, at least maybe 4 days, and then go back and read what you wrote. And what we will see is our wave. We get to see it in action in the rearview mirror, which helps us connect more comfortably in the moment. Because in the moment, us emotionally defined beings, we're literally seeing the world through the lens and the color of our wave at that moment. So there's a phrase in human design that says, no truth in the now. But all there is the now. So if there's no truth in the now, when is it? Well, the challenge with unpacking that concept, which again, there'll be a lot more discussions about this, but the challenge is that it is a process to learn to know when we hit the clarity. When have I actually hit that space of physical resoluteness in my physical body with my emotional clarity? And this writing and monitoring really helps, because we start to see that wave, really excited one day, not excited at all the next day, and watch it settle. And it is a practice. You know, there are no guarantees in life. There's no such thing as 1000% money back guarantee emotional clarity. It's not how life works. But there is a range of clarity, and we're learning how to feel when we're in that range. And once we are, we learn to trust that we are in that range of physical clarity. We develop a
Yeah.
trust in the resoluteness. I've reached a decision. I feel comfortable with it. And then whatever happens after that was meant for me. Might not be what I expected. It usually is not, but something will illuminate in regards to me finding my sense of truth and creative inspiration. So, long answer, short tip. Write about it for a few days, Harper. See what you discover through that little process, and we do hope that you'll be able to join us, because I can tell already with the students we have, it's going to be an amazing journey of exploration.
It is. It is. And as always, follow your body. We are not scarcity teachers. We are empowerment teachers. So this will happen again. This is not a one-time only good deal kind of thing. Like this will, you follow your body's wisdom. We support and empower and uplift that at all times. So thank you, Richard. Thank you, Harper. So I am going to send everybody an email with a link to register. We do offer payment plans, a weekly payment or a two-part payment. So get with us if you would like information about that. We start on March 18th, and we will meet every Tuesday at 2 p.m. Right, Richard? I don't know why I've got a brain fart just now, but
I thought it was
Tuesday at
10
2
a.m.
p.m., I believe. 10
Tuesday.
a.m. That sounds even better. Tuesday at 10 a.m.
Brandy, did you want to share your screen and show the platform and just a little bit of the
Oh
content?
my goodness. Yes. Oh, I was just so enthralled in all of the connection that we were having. I forgot this whole piece. You guys, this is quite a thing that I have created. You will have a section in your student resources where Raylan is not here yet, but she's going to be helping me with this. You'll meet her. We are going to be synthesizing everything we say about your charts and giving you that resource. So you will have it in written form. This resource that can become very valuable for you in your remembering until you're ready to get rid of the raft, because it's only the raft, it's not the shore. It's just going to bring you to the shore of your awareness, and then we get rid of it. But until then, it becomes an important resource.
Brandy, can I share something on that? Brandy, can I share something on
Yes,
that?
of course.
Just so everyone understands what we're going to be doing. When we have our 2-hour live, first of all, you'll be watching videos prior to class, pre-recorded videos that Brandy and I have been making. You'll come to the live class so that we have the full 2 hours for our discussion, our meditation, our contemplations and sharing of our assignments. And what we do after class is we take the transcript and put it into GPT and pull out each student's section. And then we put that in your personal student resource. So everything that's shared in the class from you and from us about you will be synthesized into one place. And so we do a lot of deep chart analysis. We will be every week going into all your questions and the deep inner workings of the mechanics. And at the end of that, you're going to have this nice document all in one place, as Brandy says, to remind you all that we've been through together during this time.
Yeah, beautiful. So when you log in at the beginning, you'll see this is every week. You'll just have the link right here where you can join. So it should be pretty easy for you to find. I have outlined these videos in such a way, let me go back once more, where you will, pardon me. Where you will be able to see, sorry, my little screen here is not allowing me to. Well, let me just show you. We are going to, oh, Richard, I cannot find the screen I'm looking for now. Let me go
Well,
back
that's okay.
one
Let me
more.
just let people know there is a ton of stuff in here. I mean, chocker block. We plan to
Yeah.
over deliver in terms of resources and background information to go along with what we're teaching specifically.
Yes. So we're going to do, thank you. We're going to do a human design introduction And so we're going to have a teaching and a meditation, and then we'll come live for those 2 hours, have a small recap and a conversation. And so each of these will be labeled which week for you to do them. In most of these, you will have not only the teaching, but then you'll have, I'm doing transmissions. I am sitting in a meditative state and kind of transmitting what comes to me about each of these things. So you'll receive the logic teaching and a transmission. They are all labeled watch before class 1. This is the discussion we'll have in class 2, watch before class 3. So all of these videos and resources will be available to you. This is going to be a teaching like you have never received before. It is probably going to overwhelm you, and that's the way we like it.
We'll stay grounded in the process.
We'll ground it, but it will be a different type of, a different way to receive this information is what will be happening. So we will have the WhatsApp group, and we may also have some deconditioning space that will be held for, if you're this week having an issue that you cannot reconcile, that you can't stay sovereign within, a space for you to tap in. So we hope to offer that kind of space as well, especially in the Unfold program, but it will be a beta test here in the Awaken. So my goodness, thank you. And thank you, Richard, for that reminder. I was just so connected. I didn't even think about the platform.
Cool. Any other questions, comments? Yes, Ben.
Yeah, I just wanted to speak to my experience of not necessarily being in your groups or your classes before, but special magic that happens in these types of group classes. You mentioned the container. Yeah, in my experience, when I've been part of really intentional, authentic classes where the instructors are really bringing themselves into it like this, those are the times when I've had the most transformative growth, sort of like quantum leap situations in my understanding and in my embodiment of different things I was looking to gain. Much more than looking at things online and sort of reading by myself. I mean, that's all great, contemplating and taking in knowledge, but there's just some kind of indescribable, field that gets created when people come together with a similar intention. And, for me, that has led to profound growth spurts when I've had those opportunities.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. Yes.
Thank you, Ben. We agree. And that's part of why we like to do it this way. And that container, as Brandy says, a lot of times we'll be locking arms together, holding each other, learning from each other. And what that's doing in this group environment of a safe container, it's also deepening our self-trust because we learn to trust each other. We are going to see our strengths and vulnerabilities, and we can hold space for each other in this type of container so that when we leave that container, we are still what Brandy calls the strongest metronome in the room, so that we can go out into the world and all the dysregulation, polarization, antagonism that exists right now, we can still hold the space of love for ourselves and for the others, even if we don't agree nor want to be around them. We can hold that metronome energy outside of our tight, trusting, safe community. But thanks for your sharing, Ben.
All right, God. Yes. Thank you. And thank you for everybody for being here. And we love you. And we look forward to having you in AUM. We'll see you on the 18th of March.
Thank you. Thank you,
And I will
everybody.
send you a link. It'll go in your email. Okay.
Thanks for joining us. Take care.